Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of my relationship videos. So, today we are going to talk about the fact that a lot of guys in today's world seem to think that women are some not very equal, but as a matter of fact, they are very much. For an example, cast your minds back to the movie 300 and notice what King Leonidas does when he is provoked by the messenger. He looks to his wife for guidance. So, that being said, women are equally just as important as the men in a relationship. There's no relationship if there's no, you and her both as one. This goes for you single guys out there too. This is not a be-all end-all. It's the body is not the be-all end-all for a relationship. That doesn't even matter. I see a lot of people in today's society thinking that a lot of guys what they look for in a relationship is the body. And a lot of guys, me included, that is not true. When I look for a woman, I look for the personality. I look for a good personality. I look for, someone that doesn't mind being herself around me. It's those kind of women are the ones that you want to keep. It's interesting because I'm saying this as a single guy, so the thing is, a lot of times in today's world, it seems that men in certain relationships have lost the idea of how much value the woman in the relationship really means to them. And it amazes me sometimes because, women have just as much value as men, and we are equals. We are both human beings. We are both, looking for something real, pretty much. Let's just be honest, guys. That's all we're looking for, is something real. And honestly, I, have been looking for a long time, but does that mean I'm gonna stop looking? No, I'm not. I might take a break every once in a while from looking for someone, but that's just a break for a little while, But when it comes to women in relationships and men together as one, that's the way it should be. The personality of a woman is what matters. The fact that she's comfortable around you is what matters. The fact that she doesn't have to worry about you cheating on her, or where you're going at night, or where you're going alone somewhere. The fact that when she doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff, then that she's a keeper, because she knows you will never turn your back and you will never, cheat or anything like that. Those of you guys who go out there and say, oh, we'll be right back, and come back like hours upon hours later, that gets a little bit suspicious, especially if you don't call your significant other or, text her, or anything like that. I mean, if you're going to a concert, just tell her you're going to a concert. If you're going to, hang out with a friend, tell her you're going to go hang out with a friend. Go tell her you're going to, just spend the night or whatever, just hang out. And, check in on her, It's, see how she's doing. Let her know that you're thinking about her, It's really that simple. When it comes to it, there's very few things you gotta, the very significant things, you gotta do to make sure she knows you're thinking about her and, that you're still, there, for her, And, also, it's, I'm one of those guys who have been hurt by almost literally every single relationship I've been in. I've been pretty much looking for something real. Let it be clear that I'm not like all other guys. That's the one thing that bothers me. When certain women say I'm like other guys, I have been hearing that so many times. I just got sick of it over time. And, the reason I get annoyed that people saying I'm like all of the guys is because when they say that, it seems like they're saying like I'm only in it for, not the personality and all that. But that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the personality. I'm looking for someone that's comfortable around me. It's just that simple. I mean, the rest of this stuff doesn't matter to me. It's the two only things that matter to me are personality and someone that's comfortable around me. And, it's, there's only one person in history, and this is not me pushing in your face or anything like that. It's just me saying, there's only one person that we know of in history that has been able to succeed and not have a woman by his side. And my Christian family on here knows exactly who I'm talking about. Jesus. And it's him alone. He was the only man in history to have ever done anything alone without needing or having to have a woman by his side. He's the only king who was a king without having a queen by his side. He was the only, when it comes to kings and queens, in the days of kings, queens like Sparta, Persia, those generations when there were kings and queens and stuff like that. Yes, there still is somewhat today, but they don't have the authority they had back then. back in those days, it was the king or queen that was given the final verdict. In other words, it was the king or queen that was to decide the end of anything. Like, but the thing I'm getting at, the king and queen, they usually were, the meaning behind it was usually so that the king and queen together, that's important, to carry on their legacy. Like, as in, like, carry on the next generation. Like, King Leonidas had a son in Sparta. They were checked over, and made sure there was nothing wrong with them, otherwise it was brutal. But and I'm not going to get into that, but like, when it comes to it, they had children. Kings and queens had children to carry on the next successor. Like, so if the king would die, the son would take up his father's mantle, in other words, and become the next king in line. But but yeah, so like there's pretty much, I mean, it is very interesting though, but yeah, so I wanted to get that to you guys. And of course, before we go, my merchandise is available right now. Link is, well, probably not in the description of this episode, but it is in the about section. And yeah, so, and I will be seeing you guys later today for another episode at 2 p.m. Central Time. That will be the first episode of Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. So, that'll be the first episode of that Let's Play. That'll be only Wednesdays though. So, before we go, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the series, and I will see you guys in the next one later on today. And as always, guys, remember, stay dangerous.